Welcome to Bickerlist, a podcast as entertaining for your ears as every single Avengers movie was for your eyes. Right, Brian?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. The premise is simple. Each podcast, we got a predetermined topic, and we each bring our personal top fives to the table and battle it out. This episode's topic is best Disney characters of all time.
Oof. Of all time, I think we just went with, hey, that it couldn't be Pixar, and it couldn't be live.
Yeah,
like it couldn't be real done.
No live action. That's gonna just narrow down a little bit. No
Star Wars, no Marvel.
Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, no Pixar. It had to be classic. It had to be Disney.
Classic Disney. Mm-hmm. No other copyrights on that stuff. I think this is going to be fun. It was tough for me to narrow it down to 5.
You know, this one actually turned out to be harder than I thought it was. I was like, man, Disney characters, sure, why not? But wow, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's just so many. There's so many feelings attached to them. We're talking about our childhood, everyone's current state of raising kids. I mean, there's just a lot of emotions attached to Disney characters.
You know, I was talking to somebody about it today, and she's like a little bit older than we are, and I'm saying all these things, and people around me are like, "Man, this is great," and she's like, "This is what my kids watch. This is what my kids listen to." I'm like, "Oh, sorry." I mean, it was great. Like, yeah. I'm excited about tonight. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, we don't need to apologize. So before we get started, I was just thinking about this. I need to know some fun facts about you guys.
Ooh.
Yeah. What was your first job?
First job was working for $200 a week at Camp Whitsett Boy Scout out of Kern County, California. Boy Scout camp.
Camp what's it?
Camp Whitsett.
Oh, Whitsett.
Boy Scout camp. I was a merit badge instructor, and I did the archery merit badges for people.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you shoot a bow and arrow?
I think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. That, and I'm actually pretty good with a bullwhip.
You know, it's a fun fact. Can I build off of his fun fact, or is this his glory?
Yeah, you go for it.
My step great grandfather, who was very blind, blind as a bat, God rest his soul, used to get out in the yard with a freaking whip, and you think safety hazard? You would be right. However, he can crack that thing.
Dude, those things get really loud.
Wow, they do.
Oh gosh, they're so much fun.
Oh my god.
Like I've been looking on them for probably 6 months trying to find a good one on Amazon. I can't yet. So if you ever want to surprise me with a gift, get like a legit bullwhip.
Oh my gosh.
Noted.
That's awesome. Okay, what any good stories from being a camp counselor?
You won't even believe it, but the camp counselor, like director, his name was Haas. And Haas had like a 1960s, 1970s truck that he called the Millennium Falcon.
Wow.
And we had 18 people that fit in the cab of it at one point, but Haas had a duck. And one morning before the camp shenanigans festivities happened, we got the kind of call to arms that said, "Hey, everybody, Haas's duck got out." And at 6 o'clock in the morning, we had to run around this camp in the middle of a forest catching a duck.
So he had a duck as a pet?
Pet duck.
Okay.
Yeah. Haas's duck.
Do you remember his name?
Haas's duck. I don't know if he had a name. Haas's duck feel like it was pretty good.
I was hoping for Quackers or something.
Oh man, no. It was great.
Like Lieutenant Quackers. All right, Zach, what was your first job?
First job was barista. That was my first official job. I was a barista at a coffee shop in Honeypath, South Carolina. It was called The Black Cow. And
Honeypath. Is that the name of a city?
It is the name of a city. Small town, upstate South Carolina. It's where my parents were from. Dads were born there. Yeah, best stories with it. So the thing about the Black Cow is that just a peek back into that time period. Continuum by John Mayer had just come out. It's 2006, early 2006.
Yeah.
And Continuum had come out, and it had free reign of the place. We could kind of do whatever we wanted to do. Me and a couple other teenagers worked there, and it was a tried and true coffee shop. It wasn't I feel like you get into cafes and all that stuff, but it was old. The building was old, like 1800s, and we had great fresh roasted coffee. It was just a great experience to roast coffee there. But I think the favorite thing was educating South Carolina. Just the most redneck people. I'm like, can I get that there dang the cappuccino? Just people asking, you know,
I had
like,
no idea what they were ordering.
can I get the latte? It's like, yeah. You mean the latte? Because, I mean, it was a legit... I mean, it was like, you know, the guy who ran the coffee shop, it pretty much just adopted what Starbucks was doing back in 2006. And to South Carolinians that pull up and have, you know,
They had no
clue.
idea.
Yeah, no clue. Absolutely no clue. And so that was a... Memory-wise, we had a Mennonite baker who would come in and bake. She was our baker. She'd get there at like 3 a.m. and bake, you know, all of the baked goods. And it was just... So...
That's awesome. Great. That's a good first job.
It was great. Oh, it closed down. I think it's opening back up now. After all these years, the guy bought it from the original owner. It closes in like 2008 or something like not long after us because we got paid right around $15 an hour back then.
Whoa.
And, you know, we would get a little bit of tips and that kind of thing, but we got paid. I just remember it was I can't remember exactly, but it boiled down to about $15 an hour. So I remember feeling pretty high and mighty after the tips and all that jazz.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, back when you lived in Wanahakalugi, South Carolina.
It's horny pie. That's life.
After you go to
Shut
what's
up.
it? What's it?
Well, yeah, seriously.
What
about you? What was yours?
My first job. So my parents were like, "You need to go work." I was 14, and I was like, "Okay, I don't think they even give 14-year-olds jobs." Turns out they do if you want to be a caddy, and you only get paid on tips. So
yes.
I was a caddy at a private golf course. I had no idea what I was doing, so I was called a caddy 2, which basically means mule, and all they do is just haul people's carts around. Like
nobody was asking you for recommendations on what
bag
club to use.
Yeah, oh no, they were like,
"This
kid doesn't know anything," which was true. I didn't. Yeah, so I was just hauling their bags around for them. So just a bunch of old white rich guys that wanted to walk but didn't want to carry their clubs.
Sure.
So that was it. There was one guy though that said, "Oh, you can. I'll get a cart for you. You can drive it, and I'll just, I'll hit it, and you can go out and find the ball, and I'll find you out there." And I was like, "Oh, sweet." So I'd never driven anything before. I was, Chicago. They didn't let anybody drive. There was no farm that I could go drive or learn how to drive. So, so I'm in the cart and I'm getting it figured out. And we're on probably the third hole, and it's like an elevated tee box. Everybody tees off, and he starts walking down this hill, and I'm following him in the cart, and it got a little away from me there for a second, and I ran into the back of the guy's legs. And he's like, "What are you doing?" He said some other things that, I won't repeat here, but yeah, I felt super bad, but I totally ran into the dude's legs, and he was not happy with me. Yep. And did not get any tips at the end of that. But
well, you got some driving tips, I'm sure.
I learned how to drive a golf cart.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's priceless.
Did that experience overall, your first job, did it give you a passion for golf, or the opposite? Did it make you like, I hate this game?
No, I mean, I don't think it really did either. It was one of those things where I was like, I have to go get a job. So this is a thing that I can do. Later on, I did enjoy playing golf, and I haven't been playing really recently, but I did enjoy it. So there is one topic that we need to get to, and this is a big one. Best Disney characters of all time. Yeah. So, Brian, why don't you just jump right in? What is your 5th pick?
So 5th pick, again, I'm excited to get to the list. I'm almost excited to get to the honorable mentions as well. But starting us off, 1973 from Robin Hood, Little John.
Oh, Little John.
Little John from Robin Hood.
Classic.
You just had to. Like, he was great. He was just all full of shenanigans and just nostalgic, just great.
I think that's a solid pick.
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
From being honest.
Yeah.
He was kind of funny.
Like he goes and like kisses the rings off of the guy, and he like
Oh, yeah.
smiles, and he's got all the jewels in his mouth, and just a wily rascal he was.
Walking through the forest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Robin Hood and Little John walking through the forest.
Do you know if that was Phil Harris, the guy who did Baloo? If it's the same voice that does Little John?
I'm not sure, but
Yeah,
I think so. Actually, I think it was because he also did O'Malley off of the Aristocrats.
Yes, that is right. I think that is correct.
Yeah.
Same dude, yeah.
O'Malley.
O'Malley. He's the
Thomas O'Malley.
Yeah, he's the
O'Malley the Alley Cat.
the alley cat. Yeah.
I don't think I watched.
My kids have watched that twice in the last month, so I'm very familiar with it.
I don't know if I've seen Aristocats all the way through.
That's actually pretty good.
It is good.
It's a catchy tune. But anyway, that's my number 5.
It's okay.
Uh,
I didn't even think of him, so the fact that he's making your top 5, it's a little bit of a stretch for me.
Over the past 2 episodes, the things that you haven't thought about have not really been pretty underwhelming. So,
I don't know.
We'll see when we get to your pick, Brad.
I got no hate. No hate for Little John.
Thank
I
you.
feel like that was
Appreciate
the fond memories of him kissing the rings and just taking them off one by one. It's good times. Number 5. This is a tough list, guys. It's tough. Number 5 for me is going to be good old Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh.
John C. Reilly.
Okay.
Oh man, I thought at that point, Wreck-It Ralph is a great Disney animation movie. It's one of the first movies that John Lasseter, who's famous for Pixar and a lot of that stuff, it's one of his first movies he made when he came over and started doing the leading Disney animation studios. And I love John C. Reilly. He's funny.
Funny.
Yeah, I feel like he's as overrated as he is. I feel like he's still underrated in a lot of ways. And Wreck-It Ralph. The first one and the second one. The first one's great. First Wreck-It Ralph is just great. Like, it's one of my kids' favorite movies, and it's creative and how they intertwined this animated world with nostalgic stuff from the 80s.
Well, but you got to look
90s.
inside video games.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
That was so cool. Like a lot of
Yeah.
the characters that you knew and loved. Yeah, it was good.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. I don't mind that one either. That's a pretty good pick.
Why don't you just get to telling us what your number 5 is, buddy
get on in
boy?
there.
Number 5, Beast.
Beast from what movie?
What do you mean? Beauty and the Beast.
The reason for your pick is so vague. Zach doesn't even know what you're talking
I
about.
just heard Beast. And I was like,
Beast.
it
Beast.
makes sense now,
Oh
guys.
my gosh, Beast from Back to the
I'm more
Future.
standing up the fact that it's it's a very vague pick. Tell us why
Yeah,
Beast.
tell us
I
what's
think
up.
so. I here's what I like about it. There's a lot of princess movies and princes and all that stuff, but I feel like Beast was a cool prince because he wasn't like a Prince Charming or something lame like that. And the fact that he was super tough and could fight wolves was sweet, but then he was goofy once you got to know him a little bit. I thought it was good. It's an endearing character. And he kicks the crap out of Gaston.
Yeah.
Which was cool to watch too.
Which, but Gaston he's his own.
He was awesome.
I don't know what
character.
version of Beauty and the Beast y'all are watching. I know Gaston.
Gaston.
I don't know who the French Gaston you were watching.
Hopping into Ratatouille.
How do you
right
say
there.
it?
Gaston.
What did I
This is
say?
true. You said
Both of you
Gaston.
said Gaston.
And I was like, yeah, I love Gaston.
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 All right, whatever. I love the Beast.
All right. So
Yeah.
the first 5 we've officially cracked the episode. We're in. We're in. We're one down.
It's
One
open.
down, 4 to go.
Okay. So now it gets more interesting. So 4th pick from 1991, I'm going to be our guest with this pick, Lumiere,
Oh,
the candlestick.
dude,
Lumiere.
that was.
I mean-
he sucks.
What?
He sucks. I can't believe he's your number 4 of all the Disney characters that there are out there. You choose the candlestick.
Yeah, that's why I said Lumiere is number 4. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe we
I
need to
mean-
figure out Brad's headphones or something. Apparently he
feel
can't
like-
hear me.
I feel like I'm in the middle of a Disney set. We got frogs going outside right now.
Oh my gosh,
In
those
the,
frogs.
On the Blue Bayou.
middle of
Yeah.
no, the Blue Bay. Yeah.
Lumiere.
Lumiere. I'm coming in hot with a more recent movie.
Okay.
Olaf. He makes my top 5
Of all time.
of all time. Here's the thing.
Josh
Olaf
Gad is great.
Yeah, Josh Gad's great. Here's the thing about Olaf that is I think still I think Olaf will get his own movie. Like legit, I think he'll get his own feature movie. They already did like an Olaf Frozen Adventure thing on Disney Plus that my kids also love. Here's the thing with Olaf. I think that you went Beast with your whole personality in there. I went Olaf because for me, life is like, it's always sunshine.
That is kind of true.
It's a little naive, It's
You at home can't see both of them right now, but Beast and Olaf could not be more them. Just visualize Beast and Olaf are recording a podcast, and there you go.
Yeah,
and you're definitely Lumiere over there.
Thank you.
Be our guest.
Thank you.
Be our guest. Yeah, so Olaf is mine. I think that it's one of those I didn't want to necessarily have Olaf in the fourth spot out of all the Disney movies of all time. He's just a strong character that I think Josh Gad was super creative with. The kind of like that blind naivete, I feel like is something that it just makes movies great.
There were a lot of times, especially in the second Frozen, that he made me laugh out loud.
Yeah, it's just you don't expect what he's about to say. There's moments where he's what is he in number 2 in the Frozen 2? He talks about his friend Rachel. He says a girl's name. I can't remember the name, but he says his girl's name. He's like, I don't even know. so all of you parents out there,
when he came out and did LeFou in the live action Beauty and the Beast, like Josh Gad's just been really, really good.
That's true. Yeah,
he started in Frozen really good. He's been really, really solid. Yeah. So okay, that's a good pick.
Olaf.
I do like the voice too.
Yeah.
I feel like the voice really adds something.
It does. Special. It matters. The character. I mean, it builds the character.
Yeah. My number 4. Oh my gosh, I love this one so much. Crunk from Emperor's New Groove. Oh my gosh,
it's valid.
I love that guy. I quote him probably at least once a week.
You do?
Yeah.
Do we know who that's voiced by? Do you know? Is it John Goodman?
No, it's the big dude. Like he looks like Kronk. I don't remember his name.
Oh my gosh, he's the guy from Seinfeld. He does all that. He's a guy that gets a little breathy when he talks.
Yeah, they had their own show. He had something like that at one point.
Oh my gosh, everybody that's listening.
Patrick Warburton. You know,
He
kind of has an unbelievable kind of voice.
Yeah, he's got a great voice.
Yeah,
and he's just funny. It's the same character.
Oh man, Kronk.
Okay,
so
solid
great.
pick. Solid pick.
I'm down with that. Let's go.
All right, cool. Well,
Emperor's New Groove, just in general as a movie, is a great Disney movie. It's a great animated movie. It's one of the last of that style, that animation style.
Oh, there's so many quotable lines too. So many lines in there. Yeah.
It's true. I will say, like, I don't think I paid attention to it when it first came out, but it was one of those that just kind of was a sleeper for me. And I don't know, the more I watched it, the more I was like, this is great. Yeah. So yeah. I love Kronk. He's the best. Yeah. Hey, we're going to pause right here for a little message from our sponsor. Brian, what's you got our sponsor this week?
What makes you think I would have the sponsor?
Well, the first 2 episodes we've been looking to you for it, and I was just kind of hoping third time's a charm. We're gonna pull it down. This is your week.
No, that was that email that I sent back that says, "I don't have a sponsor. Don't come to me."
I didn't see any email.
Check again.
I feel like you're lying to me right now.
That's all right.
Oh, I'm getting really frustrated, Brian. I mean,
you are a beast.
I'm about to yell, "Get out!"
Get out!
Oh gosh. Zach,
felt the pedals fall.
I feel like you've been able to save the sponsor segment here for the last couple of weeks.
Here's what's been happening. So before the episodes come on, and this is a little bit of preparation, Brian. This is a little preparation here. I'll reach out and see who would like to be a sponsor of this podcast. So if you're listening and you're thinking, I would like to link up with Bickerlist, you can reach out to us. You'll see the email in the description below, wherever you're listening, and send us an email. We'd love to talk to you about what we can do for you. But today, this episode is brought to you by Dardstonhofer Waffle Crisps, the perfect companion to any journey you want to go on, with a little extra waffle in your step crisp. Man. So swing by your local convenience store and grab you a bag of Dardstonhofer Waffle Crisps today.
Thank you, Dardston for making this episode possible.
Yeah, man. Have you ever had them before?
Yes, I have.
They go great. With coffee.
They sent me a free pack.
Cheese whiz on them. Like they're good. They're with everything.
Wow. What flavors are your favorites?
It was the Dardston Waffelpfeffer. It was a pepper. It was like a light spice pepper flavor. It was pretty good.
That sounds good. What about you, Brian?
I think mine was the mango habanero cilantro. Not usually a cilantro fan.
Yeah.
But this was just, I don't know. Like the habanero, I think just did it. And then you dipped it in the little it's kind of sauce that they sent with it. It was kind of like a syrup, but it was a little bit. Yeah.
They're all in on the Veffels over there. Veffel waffle.
The variety is insane.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, is it Nabisco? I don't think it's they're like linked up with Nabisco somehow. Anyways.
Darstenhofer, we're really thankful for you guys. If you guys are listening, go out and pick up a pack.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Let's get back to it. We are 2 down. We got 3 to go.
Yep.
Brian, your number 3 pick, best Disney characters of all time. Go.
Yep. So this pick, it might be the fact that I have this music just going all around my house right now. It might be influencing me. And this is almost a little bit of like a cheater pick, but I'm going to say it anyway. Because they had to be put in a pair. No worries with these two, Timon and Pumbaa.
What? You can't pair.
You can't just have one.
You can't choose 2. That would be your 3rd and 2nd pick.
And I don't know, but it's never just like, Timon and
you could say
it'd probably be
Timon's my favorite.
Be Timon. If I had to pick one, it would be Timon.
Over Pumbaa?
Yeah. Timon's got the better one-liners. Pumbaa's just kind of fat and farts.
He's funny though.
He is funny, but Timon's got more of the sass. I like the sass.
I mean, I understand lumping them together like that, but
you can't do it.
You gotta
give one of them. That's why I'm picking. I'm going Timon.
You're going Timon.
Yes. Yep.
Man, I don't even know if he's the strongest of the 2. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, there we are.
Timon and Pumbaa.
Timon and Pumbaa.
Just Timon.
Number 3.
We're giving you a chance here.
All right.
You're doubling down.
I'm tripling down. Let's go.
Okay, Brian.
Who was that? Was that Billy Crystal?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Before he became Mike Wazowski.
Great movie. Not applicable to this list though. Pixar is out.
Pixar. Yep. I got next from the.
What about you, Zach? What's your number 3?
Number 3 to me is none other than our man Baloo.
Oh my gosh! Really?
It's the necessities of life, baby. Here's the thing. I think that. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Come on,
I'm not gonna do it.
Sing it.
No, I'm not gonna. I was close, but no. The reason for Baloo, I think that Baloo was growing up for me. Watching Jungle Book was one of those characters that is clearly like a guide for Mowgli. I mean, he's clearly like Mowgli's guide through life and all kind of stuff. And I remember watching Baloo and thinking, that's how I want to be like that when I get older. And that Baloo state of being able to be there for someone. I don't know. I always loved the way that he was supportive. He wasn't like, he was a friend, but he wasn't like, like chummy. He was still getting into trouble with Mowgli. But anyways, Baloo, good old fashioned Baloo.
That was deep. That's deep reasoning for a pick.
I just remember being a kid and being like, God, I love Baloo.
That guy's got it figured out.
Yeah, I just remember thinking like, he's just so freaking happy. He knows all about the bananas.
Yeah,
and he knows about everything.
He knows how to scratch his back on some trees.
Yes, nothing bothered him. He was just
it's
taking
fine.
out King Louie. That was a good pick. Solid pick.
So my number 3 is also Baloo.
Get out of here! Yes!
Yes! For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
They did not tune into this.
And your strife. There it is.
They did not tune into this to hear you guys sing.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's true.
Sorry.
I love Baloo. He was so fun. I'm for all the reasons you said. He's just great.
Good solid pick.
Baloo.
Yep.
Really good solid pick.
I mean, I think that it lends itself to the fact that Jungle Book is a great movie.
Yeah.
They did a lot to develop those characters in that movie. I loved it. Very good. Amazing. Beautiful movie.
Amazing.
Beautiful, perfect movie. It's pretty much perfect.
The live action was good too. I know it's not like we're not making the list based off that, but the live action was well done.
Yeah.
I did like that one too. Yeah.
What was the original live action movie that was before the Jon Favreau version? It was like the one with all the snakes. It was real life. It was a real life movie.
Indiana Jones.
No, there was a specifically a Jungle Book movie.
Snakes on a plane.
Anyways. Makes that plain.
I feel like we're not helping you.
Samuel Jackson.
Brian, number 2.
Number 2.
You got like a trio over here for this one?
No. I'm coming in with 2000's Emperor's New Groove, Kronk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Kronk,
tie her up then.
Yeah,
Huh?
Kronk made my number 2. Just so many one-liners. I was looking through it, so a lot of the list, Zach had made a good point before we started recording today. He's like, hey, you know what? This can't be on the list if you got to think about these people. If you don't have any of these like people's quotes just on the tip of your tongue at all times, I'm like, man, I can't go like a long time without saying anything from Kronk. Like just really funny. Just that movie makes me laugh even when it's not on. So yeah, Kronk holding number 2.
Look at that sissy stringy thing. A harp?
It's a harp. It's not.
Yeah, that's a harp, and that's a dress.
And you know it.
Robe.
It's a solid choice. Number 2. Coming in hot here.
Yeah.
I will say to that point, Brian, I think that these lists here, I'm curious to see where we go towards as we get down. Mm-hmm. But if you are not a male and you're listening to this, you might be like, what about all the princesses? Where's the love for all the princesses? Well, this is our podcast. So you have your list. We have our lists. As the listener, all power to you. Feel free to let us know what
you want to do a Disney
lists
princess episode.
I feel like that warrants its own because there's a lot of Disney princesses. I mean, there's a lot.
It's
vote
true.
for it. Like
It's
vote
true.
for it in the
Yeah.
Just let us know.
Let us know.
I would agree with that. I'm all
But
for
number
that.
2, Zach.
Oh, bother. Freaking Winnie the Pooh. Number 2. The Pooh's the man.
Oh man.
Here's the thing. Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, I think for me, once again, it kind of goes back to that little bit of the Olaf. Like Winnie the Pooh has one mission, man. It's one mission. Get the freaking honey. Like he has his sole mission in his life. Like he goes to people's house and is like, oh God. He's just depressed. If people don't have the one thing he's there, all the relationships are built off of honey. His relationship with Christopher Robin is built off of his desire for honey.
But he's like the worst friend ever.
Yeah,
right?
he is. But he's just
Like
he's
that's
just
all he
happy go
goes
lucky.
for. Like he's nice and he's loyal, but man, he's just like, man, you run out of honey, I got someplace to be.
He's got like a stupid brilliance about him. Though.
Yeah, I would completely
like
agree.
some of the quotes that he says. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so dumb and
he's
so
always,
true.
It's always so passive. The way that he,
Yeah.
the thing that they did with that is like he's in the middle of like, well, there's always one. It's in the middle of this. It's in the middle of him getting the thing that he wants, which I think is funny.
What did he say? Like I'm a bear with not a whole lot of brain, or with little brain, or something. My kids are big into Winnie the Pooh right now.
Uh-huh.
Funny enough, the voice actor, I think Jim Cummings is his name. If you go and look at what he has his voice attached to,
oh, it's a lot.
oh my gosh,
There's a lot of
like
characters.
he's Tigger, he's Pete from a Goofy movie. Like he is tons of characters. It's incredible. Solid second pick.
Yeah,
was
really
he
good
also the snake from?
Jungle Book?
No, the one that you just talked about with the prior tech.
Yeah.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. Was he the snake in Robin Hood?
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
Yeah.
he did it for long enough. He's been doing it for long enough.
But like here's an example of a quote, Winnie the Pooh, and his mission in life.
Yes.
People say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing every day. Freaking Winnie the Pooh.
I love it. It's stupid brilliance.
Yeah.
It's great.
All right,
Speaking
Brad.
of stupid brilliance,
Hey!
Brad, what's your number 2?
That was a softball. You know it. Yeah, my number 2, Cusco.
Cusco. Gosh, so much love for Emperor's New Groove over here.
For me, yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
You
I
threw
think
off my groove.
that's not Cusco. That's the old man. Oh, it was Cusco.
It was Cusco. I'm sorry, but you've thrown off the Emperor's groove.
I'm clearly not giving Emperor's New Groove enough time in our house.
Oh man, your kids
Dude,
love it.
David Spade's voice is so clutch in that movie.
It is. No, I agree with that.
Llama face. Oh man, he just.
But
that
the
whiny-
one-liners and the everything is just so good. I want to watch it like now.
Yeah, I really like Cusco a lot. I think both those characters, Krunk and Cusco, are so solid. So, yeah, that's my number 2.
Ah, gosh, yes, fantastic.
Love it. All right, we've made it. We've made it, guys. Number 1. Fun fact. I don't know if you guys know this or not. JP, our producer behind the glass, he actually voiced a Disney character. JP, you want to tell us about that?
No, we didn't.
I swear. JP, put the just unmute it and then
the button to the left.
Yep, just hit that button.
The big red one.
Yeah. And he keeps hitting it. It's not doing anything.
There's only so much we can do.
I feel like we try to figure this out before we record every time.
Yeah, it's one thing. It's just
we'll
one
keep
thing
trying. I mean, he's got good stuff to say. When
I don't want to
can't
spoil
hear
it. I don't want to spoil it for the listeners. We'll let him. Maybe next time he can jump in and tell us some of that.
Yeah.
It was good though.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Yeah.
All right, number one, guys. Number one picks. The best Disney character of all time. I'm really, really, really curious.
Yeah.
What you guys have for this one?
Yeah. So
Brian.
Again, looking through the entire Disney universe that we were looking at the characters, the lens that I looked through was like, who was really going to stand out? Who made a long-lasting impression? Who had great one-liners? Who was really good at filling up the room? Everything like that. And for me, out of 1992, you never had a friend like him. It was the Genie, Mr. Robin Williams.
Yeah, solid.
Such a solid
Just,
pick.
again, like he was never not going to be on the top 5 list. Like, even looking through it, even when you weren't thinking about what were the other characters, you're like, well, after the Genie, of course. And then when going through and narrowing them down, it was like, that was just I couldn't not. So
Great.
if there's better characters, I missed them, but let me know what you think in the chat. To me, Genie, number 1.
I think that's a solid. I mean, that's such a solid pick. But I have to take it back to the classics, and I get a pass on this one. It's a possible one. We checked the rules. We contacted the ref. He came back and said it was okay. Goofy from a Goofy movie is my number 1.
Really?
Wow.
Number 1.
Of all characters,
Of
Goofy.
all characters. Here's the thing, he's really the only one of the original squad that's gotten his own movie. I mean, there's not been a Donald Duck movie. There's not been a Mickey Mouse movie.
Because Donald Duck doesn't deserve a movie.
Easy.
He doesn't deserve his own movie.
Oof.
Listen, so Goofy, and I think the reason why Goofy.
I'm having a hard time holding my tongue. Go ahead, Brian.
So here's the thing. Did you call me Brad?
I called you Brian.
Yeah.
He's just so mad
The
at
other
me
one.
right now.
The other. I can't even see.
Here's
straight.
the thing. Here's what's happening. Goofy, I wanted to say Max because the story's about Max. The story's about his son coming back.
Yeah.
And the scene where Max and Roxanne, if you have seen Goofy movies, this isn't going to make sense.
Oh, yeah, it's his girlfriend.
So many things. Yeah, Roxanne, there's an entrance scene where he's like in the clouds and there's Roxanne. I mean, that is the moment for me going back to, I don't know, it's like 94 or 93. Goofy movie's like 93, 94. I remember watching that movie like, I will only ever love one woman. And it is Roxanne from the Goofy movie. No, I mean, but that was like the movie for me. I was like, oh my God. I've been hanging out with my mom's friends who's got girls this whole time, and I've never seen it this way. Look at these girls. So
Roxanne was your introduction.
It's the introduction to be like, hey. This is what it is. But Goofy movie, skateboarding too. It was my foray into skateboarding, being like, yeah, I got to skate. It was my introduction into Michael Jackson because they have the character that's Powerline. It's
Hold
just
on.
Jackson.
So Goofy movie is responsible for you for girls, Michael Jackson, and skateboarding.
Yes, absolutely.
I can see why that's a pivotal character.
It's just
for you.
that's all it is. And so, but it's Goofy. The reason why I go back to Goofy there is because I think it goes back to this. It goes back to the fact that Goofy is once again Max becomes Goofy, and the storyline is essentially Max becomes Goofy. He's all scared of becoming Goofy, but it's like it just took me back to the fact that Goof's the man.
You took a lot deeper roads on your picks than I did. I feel almost like shallow for how I got there.
Yeah, I haven't watched that movie after having a son, but going back and watching it now, I might resonate a lot more with the story. I don't know.
Yeah, because it puts you in perspective of like, oh my God.
We'll do a movie afternoon with the kids and do that with Emperor's New Groove afterwards.
Keep going, Zach. Come on.
Stand down. That's all I give me.
Man, classic Powerline.
Love it. Powerline.
Yeah.
Also, Pauly Shore, voice of
with his friend,
the friend,
Yes.
with like the cheese.
Leaning Tower of
Leaning
Cheesa.
Tower of Cheesa.
Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, baby. Principal Mesa. What's up, bro?
Awesome. So, number one pick. This is interesting because 2 weeks in a row now, Brian and I have had the exact same number one. It's Genie. It's Genie.
yeah.
It's Genie
Deserved.
from Aladdin. Gosh, he's so great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can pick a better character. He had to be number one for me. I thought about all of the ones that were in my head, and I got a lot of honorable mentions, and we can get to those in a second. But when I saw the topic for this episode, I was like, well, Genie for sure. And then after getting all the rest of them, I was like, yeah, he's number one.
Yeah.
And there's just nothing that could take his spot. Robin Williams is so brilliant in that, and man, what a talent.
But
Yeah.
I mean, going through, it's so funny watching these movies being an adult, or like, well, I mean, not being a child, and going back and watching some of the words that they used or how they put together lines and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and some of the little things, even the Genie said, like off the cuff, off remarks, and you're like, that was brilliant,
Yeah.
and it was really funny, and it totally went over my head as a kid.
Oh yeah, and that's the best part about most of these Disney movies is they're writing it in a way that the kids are entertained and the parents can actually get a couple laughs in there too.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something to be said too about. I mean, obviously Robin Williams is Robin Williams. I mean, God rest his soul. But here's the thing about Robin Williams in that role, and I would say a lot of the characters that we've specifically talked about tonight, and many of people's who are listening's favorite characters, Robin Williams put his soul into that character.
Yeah.
And I think that for the lines, like you're talking about the ad libs, like he became Genie. Like there wasn't somebody who was like, no, you need to say it this way. It was like, no. He just did his thing. I can't imagine the hours of just takes that they have that are behind the scenes because he just was messing around and he
Or
was
those
just
poor
Genie.
animators that had to go after and like actually draw to what he had to go on his
No,
set.
for sure.
Yeah.
I remember my dad brought that movie home for us. It was a VHS, and that was not what he would normally do. Like it was just like a total surprise, and he brought it home, and he's like, "Guys at work were talking about how awesome this movie was, so I just went out and bought it. Let's watch it." And ever since then,
That's crazy.
I loved that movie.
We weren't, so the main reason why Genie is not on my top or any of the Aladdin characters was because my parents were a part of like the whole church group that like broke off from Disney movies for a long time and like didn't let their kids watch Disney movies. I mean, it wasn't even Disney movies at that point with my parents. It was just select Disney movies. It was Aladdin and Lion King. So I didn't see Lion King or Aladdin until I was like 22.
What?
Like I went my whole life. Well, because here's what happened. Like after I passed like 13, I didn't want to be the kid who was watching Aladdin. You know what I mean? And I didn't watch it until me and my wife started working with kids, and we bought a VCR because there was no like Disney Plus. None of those good movies were online.
Right.
So we just went to Goodwill and bought all of the classic Disney movies, and that's when I knew I sorely missed out
Man,
my whole life.
yeah, what a hard childhood. You
Wow.
must have.
You don't know what you don't know until you know.
Until you know, and then it's
then
like,
you know.
Mom and Dad, I will never forget you. I will never forget.
You can enjoy it now. I get to let my kids watch whatever they want.
I love it. All right, so let's do a real quick recap: 5-1, and then we can get into some honorable mentions after that.
All right.
Ryan.
So for Team Brian over here, we started with Little John from Robin Hood, Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast, Timon of Timon and Pumbaa from The Lion King, Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove, and then Genie from Aladdin.
Pretty good. It's a pretty good list.
For me, it's Wreck-It Ralph, in number 5. And then number 4 is Olaf from Frozen, greatness. Baloo from Jungle Book in number 3. Good old Winnie the Pooh in spot number 2. And last but not least, first actually, Goofy from the Goofy movie, but also because of everything Disney.
There is such a similarity in those 5 picks from you. Like the I don't know, lovable dummy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just,
I don't know.
it just is what it is.
I
You
feel
know,
like it's sums
the
it
world
up.
would be a sore place if it didn't have all those 5 characters, specifically Winnie the Pooh, Goofy. Those are 2 pillars of
Okay, all right.
dummies.
Lovable dummies. And then for Team Brad, we got Beast from Beauty and the Beast, Crunk, Baloo, Kuzco, and Genie. So this is where you guys get activated. What happened? What do you guys feel like we missed? What did we just totally blank on?
We missed something. We must have.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Who had the best list of us 3? I've had a couple conversations with people recently just about this, and it got heated to the point where there were people that were like, I don't even know who you are.
Well, you're
anymore.
messing with kids' childhoods.
That's
Like,
right.
talking about this.
Yeah, you're messing with it all.
Yeah.
So
All right.
honorable mentions.
Honorable
What'd you
mention.
have?
Yeah. So I had a few. I actually had quite a bit. I thought Sebastian from Little Mermaid was great. Flynn Rider
Ooh, from Tangled.
from Tangled.
Tangled was
Yeah.
great.
Tangled was great.
Yeah.
Archimedes from
Sword in
Sword in
the
the
Stone.
Stone.
Stone. Yeah.
Huh.
Good one.
I really like that guy a lot. The caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland. I'm not sure if he had a name. Just smoking the hookah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, no,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
the
Creepy
yeah.
caterpillar.
Yeah. Captain Hook.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I thought like for a villain, he's great.
I can't help but think of Hook when I think of Captain Hook these days, though, with Dustin Hoffman. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, so good.
And Mushu.
Oh, Brad
Mm.
from Mulan.
Yeah. He was
Solid.
funny. A lot of great supporting characters there.
Zach, what about you?
Supporting characters for me, I go back to Wilbur the Albatross from Rescuers Down Under.
Oh, man.
If you guys remember the
Yeah.
Albatross. I
I
think it was
don't.
John Candy was the guy who voiced
Really?
Wilbur. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was John Candy. And so that one just has been I feel like anytime I go back and watch that, I remember literally being like, oh my God, it's a bird plane. It's like being a kid. Because they're like on a, anyways. Then I will say Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas. That's on the honorable mentions. Thomas O'Malley made it on the honorable mentions. I'm rethinking that now.
Wait,
that
help me.
Thomas O'Malley's from the
O'Malley the Alley
Aristocats.
Cat from the Aristocats.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
That movie, and then Robin Hood from Robin Hood. But I went back to and I put Brave Little Toaster because that was a Disney movie.
Oh,
that you guys, I
man.
don't know if you guys remember that.
Yeah.
Was that Disney?
That was Disney, Brave Little Toaster. And so
That was,
the
I
Toaster.
think, what's his face? That was John
Lasseter's
Lasseter's first thing.
First movie through Disney, but it
Yeah,
went
it's
through
his first
Disney, and it was like part of Disney's anime. Like he worked with that team at Disney to animate that. It's a super depressing movie. When you go back and watch Brave Little Toaster, it's like it's too heavy. There was a lot of Disney, and maybe you guys can resonate with this. A lot of the movies that we grew up with were not the like, oh, everything's fine and great. It's like, I mean, Fox and the Hound. Oof, this is heavy.
Oh yeah, Dumbo.
Yeah. Oh my God. Pinocchio too. It's like
Well, some of the stories
terrifying.
that these movies are written off of like got even darker than the Disney portrayal.
Yeah.
Like you go back and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of them in our house just because they're like, there's a lot of non-redemptive characteristics to the movie. I'm like, I don't know.
Where are my lovable dummies?
Yeah, where are the lovable dummies? Yeah, I think it's a definitive moment in every Disney movie that is worth watching. Does it have a lovable dummy? No, I'm not watching it. I'm out.
It's kind of like for your fast food stuff. Like if they don't have a solid value menu, you're out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. What about you? Honorable mentions.
So a lot of things that you guys had already said. Baloo hit my honorable mention. I got Rafiki from The Lion King.
Yeah.
Rafiki was funny. Sebastian, a little opinionated, but I liked him. Mushu, Scuttle from The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, Little Mermaid.
Okay.
He was funny, and then Thomas O'Malley, O'Malley the Alley Cat, and then Scat Cat from the Aristocats. If you remember him,
Yep.
he was just a hoot.
Scat Cat.
I feel like I'm gonna need to go back and watch that
Scat
movie
Cat.
now.
Yeah, Aristocat. It's like 1960s, 1970s. Like it's old.
The kids love that movie, even for us now. Like,
It's wholesome.
yeah,
like it's
wholesome.
good.
Huh.
It's I mean, yeah, it is good. It's got a lot of like classic Disney qualities to it.
Okay.
And the same guy that did O'Malley, I think, was the Baloo character. Like,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
did
that's
a lot
true.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I feel like it's probably pretty underrated as a Disney movie.
My kids love the song. Like Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. They listen to it on repeat.
Yeah.
Everybody Wants to Be a Cat?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to have to have another list about that. Yeah.
I disagree with those.
I was like, I don't want to be a cat at all.
No. That doesn't sound fun. Even a little bit.
I didn't give The Little Mermaid enough love either because I feel like that movie does have... It's a good story. I think they're doing a reshoot right now.
But the characters aren't standout. Like, not a lot of them. Like, there's a really good story. It's classic Disney. Like, I wouldn't sit there and be like, man, this one character makes it.
Yeah. I was also... So I was thinking about villains and just thinking about how many good Disney villains there are.
That'll be a great episode.
Yeah.
That's its own, I think, because you got Cruella de Vil. I mean, there's just so many.
I know.
Hook, Cruella, yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you want us to do one of those because we could jump in on that too.
We'd be all too excited to do that.
All right, let's just jump right into the mailbag. There were some interesting comments from the last episode. Brian, you want to kind of kick us off here?
Yeah, it was fun. The fact that people started to engage in this and actually send us stuff over. We didn't have to make it up, like not that we would do that, but
we don't make things up.
We don't make things up here.
We don't. You're actually alluding to the fact that we do, but we really don't.
We've never made a thing up on this.
No,
of course not
at all.
No. So we got a couple ones in. What was fun is that people started to attach their names to it.
Yes.
So
yes.
Let's see here. James had written, Brad's the only one with John Wick on there. By default, the other two lists are more wrong.
More wrong.
More wrong.
Okay, so I'm still wrong, but I'm just less wrong than you two.
I got two questions for James. Who do you think you are? And where do you get off?
Where do you get off? Somebody else unnamed wrote just Dunkirk with like 2 exclamation points and 2.
We never even said Dunkirk. Did you say, was it even on your list?
I don't know. Somebody heard Dunkirk.
Maybe they were frustrated that we didn't.
You mentioned Dunkirk.
There's a
it
lot
was
of
an honorable mention for me.
Yeah. Maybe they're upset that it didn't get higher. Maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for discussion with those exclamation marks and question marks.
Let's see. Somebody voted. They didn't write any comments, but what they wanted to hear next, they put gas station snacks.
Ooh, I like that actually.
You've got a lot of opinions on that.
I love gas station
that road
snacks.
trip that we did, you introduced me to some new ones that I didn't even know about.
For the good listeners at home, Brian had never heard of combos.
Not once. We went to Kentucky and he was like, let's
Pizza
get combos.
combos.
And I was like, what are you talking about? Combos.
Pizza combos.
Pizza combos are...
Yeah.
It's not even that I hadn't had them. I'd never heard of them.
It makes me really wonder what you guys actually do know of the grocery store, not grocery store sex. What are you talking about? Convenience store sex. It makes me really wonder what you guys actually know that
from
is
the
good.
gas station.
Yeah. From the gas
man,
station.
It could be a good conversation. I mean, Brad, what did you find? What were people saying on the interwebs?
Yeah. So on our Instagram account, at DKDuck said, "How did you forget any of the Mission Impossible films?"
We didn't forget them. We just didn't want them.
I also heard that from a couple other people.
Several people.
Here's
they
my
were
thing.
Fun. Like I enjoyed them.
I think I got tired of that back in like 1998. Like, and he's still making them, and I just ooh, keep going.
I don't know, dude. Like the energy that he came out with, like I don't know. There's somebody for people that like it. It's really good.
Here's the thing. What we didn't miss was J.J. Abrams. We talked about J.J. Abrams. I talked about him. I put him in my number 1 pick with The Force Awakens.
Did he do Mission Impossible?
All the Mission Impossibles.
No.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams did every single Mission Impossible. They're all bad robot movies.
Huh.
It does make you appreciate them more when you go back and watch them and you go, okay. He maybe just did the first. Anyways, whole point I'm saying is this. Mission Impossible, I think had I been thinking of it, I may have at least mentioned it in the honorable mentions because it is high action packed. I got a few people saying we should have said something about the Bourne series.
Yeah, I heard that
because
too.
it is the same kind of action thrill ride.
You know, we got that from Mark had written, and in his comments, I think he actually gave us his top 5.
Oh, okay.
He put the Bourne Legacy, Drive, Winter Soldier, Skyfall. Well, there's only 4 on there. But then, so
good
top
thing
4,
he's not doing this podcast.
Yeah, that's
us.
fine. But what should we do next? He put cartoons from the 90s.
Okay.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Miguel had written Mission Impossible movies, especially the last 3. disagree that Inception's an action movie, more of a cerebral thriller, in my opinion.
Okay.
Though I love it.
I got a heat for putting Star Wars in there as well because it is the pinnacle of sci-fi.
More of a sci-fi.
Yeah, and I get it.
But it's action-y.
It is. I mean, it's filled with action. The whole movie's filled with action.
You know what?
Again, we went off of IMDb. We searched by action. That's what, like, how'd you made the list?
Yeah, I didn't. I can't say I searched anything. I went off of my gut like I do every single time.
So for anybody listening, Zach and I, before every episode, I'll say, hey, how'd your research go? Or kind of like making sure you get it in the right order. And he fights me every time saying, if you can't just shoot it from the hip and get your top 5 together, it's not actually your top 5. So Zach comes in cold, like colder than cold. Like Zach doesn't even know what we're talking about before we get here.
Here's the thing. I don't think I just genuinely believe in the rule of you should at least know your top 5 before you sit down, whatever order they're in. And if you want to Google that and figure it out, I'm okay with that. But at least in your heart of hearts, you should be able to pull 5 things. Like I can pull 5 things from the gas station right now, but I'm not going to do it.
There's going to be something that if you looked it up, you'd be like, oh man, I totally forgot about that one. And it may challenge one of those tops.
Fair.
I'm somewhere in between you guys. I don't do near as much research as you do, Brian.
I know.
But I do a little bit more than you do, Zach. So
to each his own.
By doing anything, you're doing a little more than what he does.
That's fair.
I will agree. I have no qualms.
I got to tell you, my favorite comment came from Josh, and he wrote a lot, and I kind of pared it down a little bit, but he said, Brian's lack of diversity is offensive. He needs the ability to decipher good from great. This should result in a suspension of all opinions. And that's interesting to me. I started thinking about that. What if we, maybe that's something that we need to start thinking about for the future.
Giving people suspension points because some other people don't like the feedback?
Just like if you finish last in the voting, you only get 4 of 5 picks in the next.
Here's where I argue that. Listen,
absolutely not.
All right, fine. That's a bad idea.
That's a horrible
idea.
I
think that we should take votes away from Brian? Yes. Do I think that the person who suggested this is invalid as a potential anything suggestion person because their suggestion for what the next podcast should be about is Brian? Give it to him.
Oh, the top wars of all time.
The top 5 wars.
Yeah, that's what Josh says. He's like, you guys should do wars. And our immediate thought is just like, well, I mean, I guess the Korean War wasn't so bad. Or that War of 1812 really takes the top 3.
Josh, there's a, do I agree with his comments? Yes. Do I agree with the fact that we should pick the wars?
Wars is a little out of left field.
Out of the table.
Yeah, a little out of left
Off
field.
the conversation.
I'll tell you what, that's out of my wheelhouse.
Wars?
Yeah. I don't know anything about history.
I don't know. You and your dad talked about shooting tanks.
Well, I mean,
you could probably
he
have
told
a pretty
me stories.
good source material.
I know a little bit about Vietnam, and that's it.
Revolutionary War.
But even backing up before
Civil War.
we say anything about that, doesn't it just feel at all a little bit wrong that you would say, what are the best wars?
Well, he didn't
aren't
say
by
the
default,
best wars. He said top 5 wars of all time.
I know, but isn't that like just kind of infer that we're looking at what are the best wars? And I'm like, that just feels a little bit like, what are the best of like things that really are bad?
Yeah, like what's the criteria you're judging on?
Yeah.
Top 5
deaths?
Like the best
accidental explosions.
Yeah. Top 5 in terms of length. Like I don't know. Like the top 5, the inference of like this is what you got to do. I don't know.
All right. What else we got? What else we got here in the mailbag, guys?
You guys got anything else?
I didn't. Those were good.
Right. Oh yeah. We do have one. You may have covered it already.
Okay.
But Phil, special comment from Phil here. It's my personal favorite. Overall notes, great show.
Man,
that
a few
was
words.
His feedback.
Thanks,
That's
Phil.
what he said.
Feedback. That's it. Great show. Next line, also one of my favorite lines. What should the next top 5 podcast be about of Bickerlist? Potato chips.
Potato
Ooh.
chips. We could make a list about
something
potato
like
chips.
that's in a bag and you got it. Okay.
I mean, I think that there are. I don't know if they're. See, the thing about potato chips is I think we might have some interweaving because
that's
know
possible.
I think that when you go something like a gas station chip, a gas station treat, there's multiple.
There's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. Because you could pick, evergreen. I mean, Evermint, whatever it is.
Evergreen mint. Oh, you're
Yeah, clearly you have your top 5 dialed in.
It's not my
Right
top
now.
5. It's just
Yeah, you're doing great.
all right, guys.
Wrigley's.
If you guys
You
want to
know
be,
that green gum, the green gum that the people chew with the trees on it. That green gum.
You guys know that?
oh my gosh, we need to wrap this up.
You guys know that green gum? You guys got that gum bum?
You know, that's the top 3. The
You're going to
green.
spend 30 minutes editing this, baby.
All right, so if you guys want to be included in any of the comments that we talk about moving forward, there's a link in the description. There's Instagram. Go follow us there at the Bickerlist. Thanks for listening, guys. I really appreciate it. Hey, thanks for listening to the Bickerlist Podcast. I'm Brad Imbersia, the host, writer, and executive producer. Brian Lawrence, Zach Ford are my co-hosts, writers, and producers. Music in the episode was written and produced by Zach Ford. This episode was engineered, mixed, and edited by Brad Imbersia. See you next time on the Bickerlist Podcast.
But today,
Yeah.
the episode is brought to you by Dartston-Hofer Waffle Crisps. The ones they sent over with the Dartston-Hofer Waffle Veffer, those are the ones where like... The favorite flavor that I have is the Dartston-Hofer Waffle Veffer. God damn it, Brad! I can't help it. Lord forgive me.
All right. Get it back, Brad. Come on.
Oh my God.